Hello, it's Jennifer. Today is Friday the 13th of April. Huh. Anyhow, so today I'd like to do an April garden tour. I tried to make this video earlier, but it just didn't work out. We've had random heat, random wind, all kinds of crazy weather. So it looks today like the weather's rather stable, if not a little warm, but it'll do. So today I'll start in the greenhouse. These are my banana plants from last year. If you haven't seen the video, go back and look. These plants started out about 3 inches tall, and now they're nice big banana plants. They're doing well. The banana plants are basically are very easy to take care of. All you have to do is when you get them and they get to a certain size, you pot them. So I started the small plants in the red Dixie cups, and then I up-potted them to 1 gallon pots, and then I up-potted those to these pots here. So 3 up pots, and these are their final homes, and they're in the greenhouse now because the nights here are still cold. It still drops into the 40s, so I like to try to protect them from the cold at night. Hopefully soon I'll be able to take them out of here and put them back on the patio so they can get the full benefit of the sun and the heat that they love. Oh, and in terms of watering them, I water them maybe once or twice a week, and that seems to be enough. I give them fertilizer every 3 months, and I just use a basic green plant fertilizer, nothing special, and that seems to keep them happy. Next to the greenhouse are my in-ground tomato plants. So this particular grow area had a nematode problem last year, and that nematode problem showed up as the plant miniaturizing as it grew taller. So far I'm not seeing that, and this is about the point last year that I noticed the shrinkage happening in the plants, but it seems that the treatment I did to the ground, which was putting shrimp meal in the ground to attract microbes that kill the nematodes, it appears to have worked. So suffice to say, I'm surprised, but the internet said that that is a very good solution and that it actually works, and I see that it does. And the shrimp meal was actually not very expensive. All I did was take it and dump it on top of the ground and then mix it into the ground, and then I left the ground fallow for about 3 months before I planted new tomatoes to let the bacteria come grow and deal with the nematodes. So starting over here, this is a San Marzano. This one here is a tiger stripe, and this one here is an anahu. This anahu is actually determinate. The other plants in here are indeterminate. It should get about 4 to 5 feet tall, so that's why I put it over here. This one is, I think this is a Cherokee, and it's got some flowers on it. And then over here is Aunt Ruby's German green, and it's got some flowers on it too, and it's doing pretty well. And then over here is yellow pear, and so I'm trying out a different way of trellising these plants over here. I tried that Florida weave or whatever with no success, so I'm just basically creating a regular trellis out of rope here and confining each of the plants as they grow higher with a box. So soon I'll probably put in another layer of rope about here and then box the plants in. So I'll see how that works. It's very colorful, but starting the plants out, it's kind of tough because they really just want to lay on the ground. So I did have to stake them for now. So that's how that looks. And these plants here, they basically get morning sunlight and as they grow taller they get more and more afternoon sunlight, but it's really tough for them when they're small because they don't get the full benefit of the day sunlight until they get tall enough. So over here is where I'm growing most of my peppers and determinate tomatoes. Since we are now having days with high UV index, so basically UV index over 7, and high heat the past 2 days, actually 3 days ago we had high heat for 2 days, I've gone ahead and put the bug and jade tents over them to give them some protection from the heat and the UV. And already the peppers have responded. They greened up, the leaves flattened out, and they're growing. Before they had shown no signs of growth, even though they had been planted in March and early March, late February. So now they're finally starting to put on some growth, and that makes me happy. The same thing with these tomatoes here. So that tomato in the middle that looks kind of funny is called a silver fir, and it has like kind of looks like a little pine tree with the way the leaves are. It's kind of cool. I tried to grow this last year, but it was grown in the wrong conditions and it was stringy and it didn't provide many tomatoes, and the tomatoes it did provide were gross. The peppers in here are a combination of bell varieties, so yellow monster, purple bell, and I think that's it in here. Back here is kind of, I'll probably remove this, but I didn't have another place to put it because all of the seeds that I started germinated. So this is a blueberries tomato here. It's supposed to get huge, which is why I put it over here, but like I said, in this particular corner it only gets morning sun until the plant grows tall enough to get the afternoon sun as well. And then back here are some, I want to say that these are Creole onions. I think they are red Creole onions, and they're just waiting to bulb up so I can remove them, eat them, and replace them with some pepper plants. And over here is a little habanero plant that's not doing so well, but I went ahead and put it in the dirt and have a see if maybe it'll respond. And over here is I think it's the Jamaican starfish, the Atlas tomato in the middle, which is a determinate variety, and a bell pepper. And then this little tomato here is not doing so well, so I'll probably pull it and replace it with another tomato, or probably a pepper. This is a tiger stripe. I have plenty of tiger stripe in the yard, so it won't be missed. And then let me get a better angle on this. These are 2 enchilada tomatoes. So these are determinate, and I think they're going to get about 4 feet tall. Although I grew these last year and they got about maybe 2.5, 3 feet tall. But we'll see, since it's in a different area, and this area gets a lot more sun than it did last year, how these do. In there with it are Alma paprika, a bison tomato, and an eggplant. Looks like it's the patio baby eggplant, and a couple other peppers in here. Beside it are some peppers that are growing up that will be probably planted in these other planters over in this area. So some of them are tomatoes which we planted in other parts of the yard. I got a mystery pepper there, I got a jalapeno, got some savory back there. They're all enjoying the tent. These were brought, actually the savory were bought from the inside. 2 outdoors have felt that they needed more sun and to start getting used to being outside. And so far they are doing pretty well under the tent. And then over here I have an orange butternut squash. And this was planted last week. All of these planters over here are on drip irrigation, or they're getting, and the ones in the pots are getting watered by lawn sprinklers that still exist over here from our previous yard configuration. In here, out of my way, is peach sugar rush. Let's see, what is that? The Casper eggplant, the sweet Spanish pepper, and then back there, I think those are more bells. And over here, some roundabout midnight basil. So we really like bell peppers. We like them in stir fry. We like to eat them raw. We like them in salads. So we want to make sure we have a lot of those to fulfill our needs. And then back here, the artichoke plants self-seeded from last year, so I didn't have to start any new ones. I was very happy because it was difficult to start these in the house. So having this just spring up on their own makes things a lot easier. And this is the rosemary bush that's always here. And I cut it back this winter because it started growing huge again. The bees love it. They're flying all around. Back here under the shade is a, I think it's called a Narangila plant. It's related to the eggplant, but it likes growing in the shade. So I had one planted in a different part of the yard that got partial shade and it burned up from the sun. So I put a shade over it and now it's doing much better. But this one seems to be enjoying its little corner over here. And then over here is a random bucket of onion type plants. And it looks like some self-seeded parsley. So we've been eating the parsley out of here, putting it on pasta. And I guess that's that. Looks like there's some weeds in here I need to pull. This mess over here is the alpine strawberry. I had to do some repairs to the drip line here, but because it's so dense, I wasn't able to get the drip line back into the dirt. But it looks like the strawberry is coming back for spring. I'm not sure what you do about all this other dead strawberry there. Do I go and rip it out or just leave it be to mulch? I don't know. And then over here is a white cherry, and it's not doing so well, but then the other cherry tomatoes I'm trying to grow, the other white cherry and the black cherry looked like this when they started, so they grew out of this ugly phase. So yesterday I went ahead and gave it some fish emulsion and some Epsom salts, so maybe that'll give it the boost it needs to get going. Over here is a fish pepper. I tried shading it, but the wind blew the shade off, or blew the support over, so I'll have to come up with a different scheme. And then over here, I don't know if you can see them, there's some little carrot sprouts, and these are the, if I'm not mistaken, a combination of the Sheen Kuroda and the Danvers Half Long. And over here are mini bell tomatoes. These are supposed to be dwarf tomatoes. They aren't doing so well, so I started another batch of them. I'm not sure what happened here, but they just turned yellow and they're just not doing so hot. It might be too hot over here for them, I don't know. And this planter is a combination of plants. So there's the blue-green tomato, the bush steak, which is the determinate variety. This is one of my favorite tomatoes, especially for salads and sandwiches and just eating in slices. And this plant gets about 3 feet tall, but it produces a lot of big tomatoes. So it's a very good tomato to have in your garden if you just want to have like one basic tomato that produces really nice beef steaks. This is the one. This is the Dark Galaxy. So I'm trying dark tomatoes this year. I'd like to see how those look and how those taste. This has a ton of flowers on it. Wow. Okay, little plant. Do your thing. And then back here is the speckled rowan, and I believe that behind it is a broccoli left over from winter planting. It's doing its best. And this is the Oregon giant pea behind it. And then coming behind that to take over the trellis are some cucumbers. So lemon cucumber and did I label what kind of cucumber this is? And the burpless cucumber. So these little guys here, they were planted last week. And there's also some new peas coming up to replace these guys. So we'll see how these all fight it out. And to the side over here is another Jamaican starfish. It's under some shade until the plants grow up over the trellis to naturally shade it. Another lucky tiger, which I may replant because it looks pretty sad. And a ringleader jalapeno that isn't doing so well. Again, I probably need to move it to a shaded area. Again, I tried to shade it with like a cover over the support, but the wind just blew it and the support over. Next over here is a black beauty tomato. Again, another dark kind of tomato. So far this plant, these black beauties in general have looked pretty sickly. I think this is the best looking one I have so far. They're just kind of weak, and then they try to put on flowers too early. So I've already cut a set of flowers off of this one. It's just not ready for flowers. If you're wondering what this is over here, this is a self-watering setup here. So you get these terracotta spikes that slowly over time leak water, and then you just use some kind of bottle, either plastic or glass, to contain the water that it gets fed over time. So we went on a trip recently for 4 days, so we used these to keep the plants watered while we were gone. It worked pretty well. So we decided to just leave them in here, and to keep the plants, I guess, uniformly watered, we just let them stay, and it seems to be working out well so far. Over here are the Little Bites tomato. And so this is supposed to be a tomato that is good in a planter. It's another dwarf variety, and it's shown on the seed packet as something that you would put in a hanging basket like this. So this is the Little Bites, and we'll see how this goes. Over here is the green zebra, and it's looking pretty good considering the other green zebras I've grown in the past were very stringy looking and thin. This one's got some heft to it, so hopefully I'll get some bigger tomatoes than something the size of a large marble. Back here I'm trying some new trellising. So these are these what do you call these things? I got these poles at the local Daiso. So Daiso sells these really cheaply. So these like thin ones here are $2. These fat ones are probably $3, and then they have some 8-foot tall ones that are also $3. And then I bought these supports from Amazon, and you just snap them on, and they are kept in place by these little bumps here, and just by interference. So that's those. And basically I've been moving the supports around to where the plants need them as the plants grow. Up front is a speckled rowan. This one I believe is Italian ice, which is the best looking Italian ice plant I've ever grown. I'm glad, because this is one of the last of the 2 seeds I had. So hopefully I'll be able to get some good tomatoes off of here, so I can have some seeds for the next generation. Over here is a Juliet plant, and Juliet's kind of unstable, so you really don't know what you're gonna get. so we'll see what we're gonna get. So sometimes Juliet has potato leaves and has these round salad tomatoes. Sometimes they're like grape tomatoes, and sometimes they're like these long finger tomatoes. So we'll see what this Juliet is. I believe this one is a Coeur de Bout, something like that. Yeah, Coeur de Bout. Get out of my way, leaf. There we go. And this is Dr. Lyle's. Over here is a meatball, eggplant, pepper here. And back there's another Coeur de Bout. And an enchilada. So the enchilada here and the enchiladas in the tent were planted at the same time. The tinted ones are doing much better, so it's tough to say. So it might be getting too much sunlight, too much UV, too hot, but either way, the ones in the tent are looking much better. Get off me, bug. And over here is a tomato waiting to sprout. So I bought some tomatoes from the grocery store, their version of heirlooms, which they don't tell you what kind of tomato it is. So I just decided to go ahead and plant a slice of it and see what comes up. Over here, in the middle of my tomatillos, I've had a lot of bad luck with these so far this year. The first pair I had were killed by a hailstorm we had in February. And then I planted another pair, and that one was taken, and one of the pair was taken out by bugs. It looked like pill bugs just ate the little thing. So I went and got a bigger pair this time, and now there are 3 plants in here. So hopefully, third time's a charm. But I didn't have any luck starting these from seed this year, so I went ahead and bought starts. This here is one of my black crims, and it's doing pretty well. It has some leaf curl because we've had a lot of wind, and so the wind just made the leaves curl up like that. It looks pretty bad. Some of the leaves I cut off because they were too badly damaged by the wind. Over here, let me see what this is. This is another green zebra. This one over here, I think is like patty striped. And over back there is a dark plum. In the middle there is white tomasol. And then over there is the other black crim. And it's actually got a tomato on it already. Let's see. There you are. See it? Yep, there you are. These plants were planted, these big ones, were planted in early January from seed and then transplanted into this planter raised bed in early March. Not March, excuse me, in early February. So they're growing very well. They've got flowers on them, and they're starting to produce fruit now.